Hey, good morning. Walk, good long walk this time maybe. Anyway, alright, so I saw a conference report video this morning, kind of about dangerous subjects, and implying, this and that. I don't know, he didn't name names, so I'll just let it stand. But the idea isn't so much about dangerous subjects, it is about the idea of our behavior, what we incite in each other, what visions we give each other, what motivations we might create in each other. I mean, everything does have a consequence. I mean, when words come out of my mouth, it's not just some air being pushed in that direction and it's going to bang into that tree and then ricochet over there, and it's more than that. There's more than just the sunlight reflecting off me and bouncing into somebody's eyes or something. I influence brains. I communicate with other brains and make switches go on and off, and we change each other through every utterance. We create change in the things around us. Pieces of ourselves go drifting through their psychologies, become part of the gear work, however you want to look at it. But this energy thing is moving throughout all of us. We are involved in an intercourse, an energy intercourse. And that has a consequence, because how we affect each other can be positive or negative, just like behavior can have a positive or negative implication. It's cause and effect. Hey, they fixed it. Quite walkable today. Very good. So there's it's not inconsequential. I mean, what we say and what we talk about and how we talk about it does matter. It can be very productive or very destructive, and it's very hard to know which one is which most of the time. Based on my definition, my perception of reality, what I have described as the values, what I see as the values, I certainly would believe in a world where there was a lot more refinement in how human beings lived and how they treated the natural world. And the primary directive would be to reduce the amount of suffering. So lots of highly inefficient existences might be, humanely terminated, or at least not reproduced, regenerated into the future. Bad behaviors and bad lifestyles, wouldn't be perpetuated. And somebody could perceive that as Hitler-esque, as a horrible threat to the existence of what they value. For example, TJ, completely obsessed with this idea of freedom, as if the human organism is the center of the universe and he must be free to act on whatever, consume and satisfy whatever gluttonous desire pops into his imagination. And there, and call it art. Call every fart an art. And there for him's the value. And, whether a few people die here or there, well, too bad. I mean, he's completely undisturbed by any notion of price, and therefore, in my opinion, any notion of responsibility. Because yes, it's really easy to be sloppy, reckless, and not give a damn, and blame it on, the system. It's the nature of nature. Therefore, it's more important that I act on what motivates me personally than I, obey any efficiency equation. Basically, I guess, is because these people don't concede there is such a thing as value. I suppose they might argue that it doesn't matter. 50 million people die a bad way in a war. It's okay. A little extra suffering and it's in the mix. It's just part of the charm. Well, anyway, I don't want to get sidetracked, but I'm sort of want to head to this discussion of the difference between freedom and responsibility. I would argue there's no freedom without it. I've said it before that responsibility is really the key word. That once you've satisfied that, or as long as you're satisfying that, you're living up to that obligation to be efficient in what you do, not be sloppy, reckless, unproductive. And so as long as you're met that responsibility, then yeah, whatever you do is your freedom. You can have freedom in terms of how you accomplish the task, as long as you're accomplishing the task within the standard of efficiency. You're performing like a car engine or something. You're getting the right number of miles per gallon. It really doesn't matter whether you're a blue car or whether you're a car going 70 miles an hour or 30, or whether all these other nuance is what might be described as freedom. But your first obligation is obligation. Your obligation to be good, productive, to be a positive influence. I don't know how to, it's just so obvious that, just have to explain to people that it's good to be good. It does seem a little wacky. I mean, I have to explain that? Shit. Then we're really in trouble. Well, we really are in trouble. That's why we are in trouble. Is because people have these wacky notions. I mean, look at the Jesus thing. He spends one day horribly suffering, and the world cries for thousands of years. Yet every day, little 6-year-old kids are going through greater horrors than Jesus endured in that one day. And no one's crying for 10 seconds, except maybe it's mommy or its little sister or something like that. But otherwise, the world is unaffected. There's no echo. Certainly not a 2,000-year echo. I mean, you can't get more preposterously, ironically, hypocritical, inconsistent in your values. And there it's right in front of us. And so, yeah, there's significance in this conversation because there's lots of notions of what's going on in the world that are really, really, really dangerous notions. They take our eye off the value ball and have us chasing things like freedom that have no meaning and outside of a context. And that context got to be our first obligation is to do that no harm thing, to find a way to eke out our satisfaction without doing damage. And as I conceded, some of these questions are complex. I don't know for sure whether I'm being a productive or destructive influence, because it really depends on whether any of this can change. I mean, if the human race is surely doomed to just relive or perpetuate the nonsense and crash and burn, then maybe there's no use in anyone reflecting honestly on what they're doing here. Maybe they might as well eke out their little bit of satisfaction and say fuck it, and not be burdened by any notion that they're not doing enough and they're not approaching the problem right. No more angst about, well, what is my role? Can I do more? Can I somehow do something? Because of course, I mean, the implication of my speechifying is definitely to motivate people to care. And is there any use in it? Am I doing them any favor? I might be just doing them harm, just making them less happy than they would have been in sailing over the edge of the earth. Yeah, and even understanding the implications is just so hard to do that. But some things we know. We know casual, reckless buffoonery talk on subjects like rape is just completely irresponsible. It's not just it's an abuse of your freedom if you know there's idiots in the world, and those